In today's video, it's the battle of the pouring mediums. Cheap versus expensive. Which ones work the best? Does spending more money equal better results? We're going to find out in today's video, and as always, you're going to learn step by step. Hello, my friend. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to be using a mishmash of different colors and brands to explore using a brand new pouring medium and an older pouring medium. So I didn't know Hobby Lobby had their own brand of pouring medium. So I was excited to find it yesterday. Now, it's new in my store. I'm not sure if it's been in all of the Hobby Lobbies, but yeah, it's new to my store. So I picked up a bottle and was shocked to see that it was $10.99 for a 16-ounce bottle versus $11.99 for an 8-ounce bottle of Liquitex. Now, naturally, we want to be able to do this acrylic pouring with spending the least amount of money possible. So I said to myself, let me try this stuff out. So now I'm going to show you how I mix paints. So you're going to see two buckets here, and this is very important. I personally like to teach people how to pour paint without measuring. So the first thing you need to do is to make your pouring medium, what you're going to be using to thin down your paint. Now, yes, we have two professional pouring mediums we are testing out today, but the cheapest way to do this is to add them along with other products to thin down our paints so you don't have to use too much of them. So the bucket on the left is going to be the Master's Touch test. The bucket on the right is going to be the Liquitex test. You'll notice the buckets are different sizes. Here is how I make my pouring mediums. I always use multiple ingredients. So the first thing I'm putting in is some Floetrol. You want to strain your Floetrol, and this is American Floetrol, before adding it to your paints because it does have clumps. Now you'll notice the buckets are different sizes. So this is how I do, I create my pouring medium without measuring. Whatever size the container is, I fill it halfway with Floetrol. I then take a pouring medium and I pour it in until the fluid rises about 25% more. It doesn't need to be exact. As long as you have some of that pouring medium in there, it's going to work. I mix the two together, and then I add that to the paint in the cup. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Here is Purple Flash by, I don't know who makes these. Folk Art, I believe, makes these paints. But no matter the brand, I will just put some paint in the cup, cover the bottom, use that as a guide. Then I will go and I will add in my pouring medium until the cup is about half full. So what I'm doing is I'm mixing up colors, a full line of colors for each of these pouring mediums that we are testing today. So you can see I poured in the pouring medium until about halfway. Doesn't have to be exact. And then what I will do is I will thin it the rest of the way with water. All right. Not a lot of water. On the consistency chart, these paints are a number 3. In the description of this video, you will see a video that you can click on that's called the consistency chart. That will help you if you are struggling with consistencies and don't know the thicknesses of the paints. And it's that simple, my friends. That's how the paints are mixed. So let's test out first Liquitex pouring medium. I mixed up a full line of colors that are mixed with Liquitex pouring medium, Floetrol, and water, as you just saw me making. The point of this video is for me to do the same pour twice using the two different pouring mediums to see what the results are. So this here is just some black paint by Grumbacher. It's thinned down again with the Floetrol and Liquitex recipe. And now I'm taking my beautiful cookie cutter or dough cutter, and I'm placing it in the middle of my canvas that's loaded with paint. Yes, I love buying baking tools to pour paint through. I hate baking. So now here are our colors that I showed you in the beginning of the video. I'm just going to pour them into this container here, and I'm going to slowly lift up the cookie cutter. This is called an open cup pour. You're essentially containing the paint in one place on the canvas and then slowly lifting that up so it will flow out and create cells. Now, I used a lot of paint because, again, we are testing. This is not about creating art today. It's about seeing if that Master's Touch pouring medium works just as good as Mr. Fancy Schmancy Liquitex, right? $11.99 for 8 ounces, and I got double the amount for $1 less with the Master's Touch. So let's keep our fingers crossed that this stuff works good. And I think you may be surprised. Alrighty, so let's speed this up a little bit, get these colors into the cup. I mixed paint for hours to do this test. I want to test it though, because if it works great, that's a big savings. So now you'll notice I'm slowly lifting up on the cup, and you're going to watch the outside area of the cookie cutter, okay? Right around the edge there. So lift up, let a little bit of paint out, and then stop it. And just sit for a minute, and let's watch what it does. I want to apologize for that glare that's going right down the side of my cookie cutter from my light. It was unavoidable, unfortunately. So now this is Liquitex, and we know we're going to get clusters of boulder cells, okay? You'll see they're forming now. This is about 5 minutes later. They just come out in these clusters, and they're really pretty looking, okay? This makes for a great galaxy painting, by the way. They almost have that silicone look where it's like a corn cob almost. So now what I'm doing is I'm letting the rest of the paint out, which is going to push those cells out of the way, obviously. Again, I told you this is not about creating art. It's about testing. So if you want to keep those cells, just use less paint than what I did. All right, you'd use about half of what I did. You'll notice by using the torch, you get a bunch of cells that pop up around in that area. I kind of wish that I just stopped here, because if I spun this out, it would have been a beautiful painting. But again, testing. I do the test so you don't have to. All right, so now I'm adding even more paint because, again, we have to do that to test. And, just adding in the colors and going to lift up on it again. And this one really kills the design of those beautiful clusters of cells that are outlining there. But, hey, what can you do? It's just a bunch of paint. So this here is a typical reaction for Liquitex and Floetrol mixed together. This is nothing new. We know what this looks like. We've seen it before, unless you're new. And Liquitex is a great pouring medium, but it's so expensive. So now I'll take this out and I will give it a good torch, get the rest of my cells to show up. It's like magic. And then we'll start to tilt it around and ruin the entire thing, because, again, there's just too much paint on there. So I just played around with it a little bit and used the palette knife a little bit to do a little swirl design. And again, this technique is great if you want to do like a galaxy painting. You can even let it dry and then come back with some resin and add in some more color if you're a resin artist. Which, speaking of, starting next Sunday, I'm going to be showing you some magnificent pieces of art. And I hope you're subscribed and have that notification bell on, so when a new video comes out, you will be notified. Also, if you are a subscriber of mine, please check your notification setting. Just click on that bell and make sure it's set on the word all. There will be a little check mark right next to the word all. Because I'm telling you, I have some exciting things coming out that you're not going to want to miss. So we're done with this painting. I'm just going to show you the effects. And you can see it's the typical Liquitex pouring medium and Floetrol recipe outcome. You got the boulder cells, you got the lacing. Very, very typical for that recipe. Very cool too, because there is a lot of shimmer in this painting. So once it dries, I'll probably resin it and then, do a little resin work on top, add in some bursts of color, maybe some white speckles for the stars, and just turn it into a pretty galaxy painting. So now the time is here to find out, will this Master's Touch pouring medium be any good? Will it look exactly the same? Will it be a dud? Let's find out. So again, same exact colors, same exact technique. The only difference is these paints are mixed with Master's Touch pouring medium, Floetrol, and a little bit of water. Since we are doing the same exact thing, I'm going to speed up a lot of this and cut out the repetitive parts. So we're taking our cookie cutter again, putting it right in the center of the canvas, and we are putting the colors in one at a time, some on top of each other. Some we're pouring up from high so they churn together. It's, all up to you. That part does not matter. So again, we lift up to let a little paint out. We watch the rim area. This pouring medium surprised me. It's a slow grower, okay? It takes its time, but when it starts to work, oh my goodness, I was so surprised by what was going on. With the Liquitex, the cells look like corn cobs. They look like kind of like boulders. With this one, they were perfectly round. I was really shocked, actually. And I'm going to be honest with you, I liked this one better. I actually liked it better than the fancy schmancy Liquitex. So you'll see here, I'm just taking my time. I'm letting it do its thing. And then I'm letting a little bit more come out. And when I pulled up on that cookie cutter for the second time, that's when the cells really started to pop up. And the torch, of course, helps. You're going to get a lot of that to poke through, that color to poke through and form those round cells. But wait till you see this here. I timed this. This was 5 minutes later. You could see they're starting to expose themselves more. And they're very, very, very round. It was very surprising to me. I used the torch, got some more to show up there. And you can see, again, I'm just, like I said, taking my time. Don't rush this. If you do this open cup technique, don't rush. Give the paint time to react with the products that are in it. and just be patient. So now I'm going to let out the rest of the paint there, and then we're going to take a look at this. So here we are about 8 minutes later. Look at this. Is that not beautiful? That makes me so happy. This Master's Touch pouring medium worked amazing. Now I'm going to ruin it. Oh God, I wish I could just have kept it, but I want to test and I want to just play around and see what we get here. But look at how beautiful those random little, they're like space stones floating through the galaxy. They're just perfect the way they were popping up in that pattern, like a bunch of little ones, and then you got a big one, and it was really, really cool. I enjoyed using this stuff. But now I'm going to go and ruin it all and add way too much paint. So I added some more paint into that open cup and then released it again. Doing this voiceover and looking at this painting, it really breaks my heart. Anyway, so here I'm just playing around, swiping a little bit to see how it behaves with that. And I got some nice little, where I had swiped, I got nice lacing patterns in there, even though it's hard to see right now. So now I'm just like letting it all out here. And yeah, this stuff worked really great, and I would highly recommend it if you're on a budget or even if you're not, because it had some pretty cool effects. And of course, it's hard for you to see all of them because you're just looking through a camera, but yeah, it was really, really awesome. So after I did this, I just tilted all that paint out because it's just, again, way too much paint for a canvas. And then I came in after I was done and actually decided to use a little silicone to see how it behaved with that. So I'll just finish tilting this out and getting that excess paint off of the canvas, and we'll see what the results of the silicone were next. For information on ways to follow me, social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, join my Facebook group, United We Pour Fluid Art Group. All of those links are in the description of the video, which is right underneath the title. You'll see the word more. Click on that word more, and you will see all of those links and the product discount codes, all of that stuff that you need to know. Also, if you are a resident in Northern Florida, Jacksonville area, and want to attend an acrylic pour class, stay to the end of this video because I'm going to have some information regarding a future class in your part of the state. But back to this painting, I'm adding even more paint. Even more paint. But I wanted to, like I said, make sure that we have a golden ticket here, and we do. We absolutely do. I wanted to play around with some more swiping, and I wanted to see, if those cells are continuing to form, which they are. You can see there in the blue area, they're popping up like crazy. In the black area that I just smushed over, they were coming up. And yeah, more paint. More paint. I know it looks like a lot, but hey, if you guys wanna learn, and yeah, these are the things I have to do. So now I'm working on the final piece where I'm going to tilt it all out, and then I'm going to come in with some silicone, and I'm going to create some cells where I want them. So you can see here we got beautiful patterns. Yes, it's way overworked, so I lost all my beautiful round cells, but the important thing is that it did create them. And, just use the normal amount of paint and you will be happy with the results. So, yep, this is it. And I want to thank you guys for joining me. As I said, I'm going to use some silicone in a minute here, but I would like to say, thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. So I took some silicone, put it in a cup, dipped a skewer in it, and now I'm just kind of dotting in some areas of this canvas to try to save it and to test silicone to see how it works. Because I did tilt it and swipe and do all kinds of crazy things. I lost my big fun round cells. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this, because hey, I do want to end up with some type of a painting in the end. I'll probably turn this into a geode. So anyway, my friends, I love you all. I want to thank you so very much for joining me. Don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with a friend that you may think may like this. I love you all. Thank you so very much for joining me. And until the next time, which is next Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I love you all and happy pouring. So those that want to attend an acrylic pouring class, I'm going to be coming to Jacksonville, Florida, April 2024. Now, I know that seems like a long time away, but it is not, trust me. So if you are interested, what I need you to do is email me, artbytammy@yahoo.com, and what I will do is give you the information and put you on the list for attendees. Okay? So just email me, artbytammy@yahoo.com. I'll give you all the information. You're going to respond to me and tell me yes or no, and then I'm going to take care of it from there, okay? I love you guys. Thank you so very much, and I hope to see you in Jacksonville, Florida.